Part 6. This should be the final part. So, so I'm dealing with there's going to be separation anxiety, not just from my church and from my family and friends, my church family, but from my wife. I want to give you an example of something. I talked to Crystal. Remember Crystal? Crystal Barnes, she was the actor. She ended up going to a church, another church years ago, right? And I talked to her this past month, like maybe January. And I talked to her and she was saying, she told me, she was like, Keith, you're the only one that really calls me other than her friend Sheila. She's been around longer in the church longer than I have. And I'm like, I'm the only one, right? Then on the flip side, I called Charisse. Charisse is a friend too. And Charisse is married. She has 2 kids. And she's still in the church. And she practically told me the same thing. She was like, Keith, you're the only one that calls me. What? She's part of the church. So, like, nobody's calling you? Like, that doesn't make sense. Why is it like that? So I'm putting people to task, okay? Call people up. 1 Corinthians 13, love them. Show kindness. Let people know that you care, the church will not exist like this. Like the story of the lighthouse, how the lighthouse was supposed to save people. And then eventually the lighthouse became a social club. That's what's happened to us. We become a social club. And so now we're not even holding to the things that the Bible says, about loving each other, serving each other, all those things. We're not doing that now. And so people walk away. I'm sure people felt like that before, years ago when they walked away, they were feeling like they weren't feeling loved. Tyrone, my brother Tyrone, who just graduated. I went to his graduation. I posted that on Facebook. He wasn't feeling loved. He felt like nobody cared, Well, you know what? He was right. Now I'm feeling it. My friend Bobby, who helped kind of put me on this path, he didn't know it. He didn't do it directly. But he had to, he ended up marrying a woman who was outside the church, right? But she was a Christian herself in another church. But it was a big controversy, right? And eventually he had to go. He had to leave. And he told me the same thing. Nobody calls him. So he was here for like maybe 8 years. I'm here 18 years. Nobody calls you. And, Bobby did a lot. He threw parties. He did a lot of good, cool stuff that a lot of the singles at the time came to. We got to do better, man. That's just the bottom line. That's a challenge to you Christians who call yourself Christians. Do better. Call people. Love up on them. Do better than that. There's a sister. I don't want to mention her name because I don't want to embarrass her, but I've known her for 18 years. And I called her because I was hurting at the time. And I guess she wasn't, I don't know, I don't want to say mature enough, but I guess she wasn't mature enough to hear the pain in my voice. I was talking to her on the phone, and I was like, hey, can I come over? Because I just wanted to tell her what was going on with me and, with me and my wife and everything. And eventually she texted me back. Like, she said yes on the phone, but then she texted me back right away and was like, nah, you can't do that. That wouldn't be a good idea. That wouldn't be appropriate. And I said, fine. I agreed with her, right? But at the same time, she didn't call me back and like, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? Like, it didn't even register in her mind. And it was like, man, like, you know me for 18 years. Like, you got to give me the benefit of the doubt. Like, what's going on? You got to at least ask. She called my wife like a month later, weeks later, and she talked to her. And I'm sure my wife had her version of the story. Fine. But you're my friend. You didn't call me. What's going on? So to this day, she hasn't called me, and I'm not going to call her. I'm not going to try to talk to her and tell her what's going on. It's like, whatever. It's like, we got to be better, man. It's like, you got to be more mature than that, as Christians, there are 2 sides of the story. As parents, there are 2 sides of the story. You don't just listen to one side of the story. You always get the other side of the story from your kid. When something happens at school or they have a fight with their sibling, you always get 2 sides of the story, right? So why didn't that happen? So, so I'm a little, I want to be clear. I'm not upset with the Chicago church. I'm not. I'm upset with people's behavior and people who call themselves Christians and they're not doing all the Christian things. They're not fighting. It bothers me. That really does bother me. I would still be around if people cared. That's the bottom line. I care. I call people. You know, I'm the one who always initiates. I'm the one who's always calling people. I've been doing that for years. I've done it for years. And, you know, and I don't get that reciprocation. Yeah, I'm hurt. No doubt about it. But I'm also a warrior. And, you know, and I'm God's child. I've never doubted that. I've always known that since I was a kid. I've known me and my sister were always special. So I'll get through this, no problem, you know. And now, you know, after I move out of here, me and Tyrone will most likely get an apartment together, and, you know, we'll be warriors together, you know. That man just graduated his paralegal, you know. I got good people around me, and I know I got decent friendships. The real friendships, put it like that. The ones who haven't abandoned me yet. Dion hasn't abandoned me yet. Tyrone. There's one guy I still have to have a conversation with. Maybe he'll see this video and he'll understand, hopefully. Now I'm at 6 minutes and 12 seconds, so I'm in this video. Hope y'all listen. I hope y'all understand. Give me the benefit of the doubt. I showed that video earlier. Just, you know, we gotta do better, man. That's, you know, I may not call myself a Christian anymore, but I'm still a child of God, just like all of us are. You got different denominations, different religions, whatever. You gotta treat people with respect and love. That's the bottom line. You know, there was, at the beginning of January, there was a minister named Kevin Wesley. At the very beginning of January, right after the new year, and he talked about how he was no longer a pastor and what his reasons were. And then he gave a second video talking about love. Start doing that.